We are talking about Holy Week this week, and today is Holy Thursday. Today is the day that Jesus sat down with his disciples and had the Last Supper. He taught us how to break bread and have communion with each other. He showed them how to do that for the first time at the Last Supper. He went to the Last Supper knowing that Judas was going to betray him, that Peter was going to deny him 3 times, that they fought with each other during the Last Supper of who's the greatest. And yet, he broke bread with them, and then he served them by getting on his hands and knees and washing each one of their feet. Jesus is the example of a true leader. He knew that tomorrow what was going to happen, that he was going to be crucified on the cross. He knew about the betrayal and the lies and the fighting. He knew that people were going to spit in his face and flog him. He knew that he was going to be nailed to a cross. But he put all of that aside and he served his disciples one last time. Could you do that? Could you do that knowing that people were going to betray you and hurt you? Not in a way that we betray and hurt each other in this lifetime, but actual death. I don't know that I could do it. Jesus is so good, and he is the example that we are to go to day and night. We are to put ourselves in his place. We are to be Jesus here on earth. That is what being a Christian disciple is that we are Jesus here on earth at this time, at this day. I want to bring you to something else that happened later that day, on this Holy Thursday. After the supper had ended, after the feet were washed, after the table was cleaned up, Jesus goes to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. And he brings 3 disciples with him to intercede for him. Peter, John, and I had it here. I'll see it in a minute. But anyways, he brought the 3 disciples with him to intercede for him. Sorry. Do you know what interceding is? It's when you're having somebody pray for you. So Jesus goes up on this cliff, on the mountain, and he goes up to pray by himself while he asks the other 3 disciples to sit down and pray. Peter, James, and John. James is his brother. So 3 of his closest disciples he takes with him. And he says, I want you to stay awake for an hour, and I want you to pray for me while I go over here and pray. Because I need your prayers, guys. I need you. He goes over on his own. Jesus does. And he starts praying, and he is in such distress and agony. He was thrown into like this great struggle and this great fight that night, saying, Lord, if it is your will, don't do this to me. He knows what's going to happen to him. And he's up on this mountain praying, and he's praying his heart out, and he's crying. And he's pleading with God, if there is another way, please let it happen. He was sweating so bad that he was sweating blood. His blood was actually clotting and coming out of his pores. So the sweat and the blood was like intermingled together. This is a medical condition that's called hematidrosis. And it's a condition that occurs only when individuals who are in a highly emotional state, where they are actually sweating blood. Can you imagine being in such agony that you're falling on your knees and you're praying to the Lord and you're saying, if there's another way, please do it. I know, I understand, my mind knows that I have to do this, but I'm scared, and I hurt, and I've been betrayed, and I don't want to do this. But he does it anyways. He loves us so much that he does it anyways. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. When you really understand what Jesus did for you, you cannot look at any of this the same again. You cannot look at Easter the same again. You can't look at bunnies. You just think, I mean, I get it when my kids were little and stuff, but I see like these old people. I live in a 55 and older community, and I have these people all around that are wearing bunny hats and have like big signs on their houses and Happy Easter with bunnies. And it's not about bunnies, you guys. It's about Jesus. It's about Jesus. And it's okay. I mean, if we want to have bunnies, fine. Don't forget what it's about. Don't make it about the Easter bunny. Make it about Jesus. I wish I understood this more when my kids were little, so I could put this into their hearts. I wish I did. And I hope now that I didn't. I hope now that by the time I have grandchildren, I can put it in their hearts so that we can start new traditions with our grandchildren. You know, and I hope that you want that too. You know, it's okay to give gifts, and it's okay to, gosh, I mean, Easter eggs are the best boiled eggs. Am I not wrong? There is something about the vinegar, the eggs sitting in that vinegar and the color on them, that they are the best hard-boiled eggs that you will ever have. Like, I'm not denying that. But do we have to make it about that? Jesus sweat blood the Thursday before Easter. He was crying to God on the mountain, praying. And his other three Yahoo disciples, Peter, James, and John, his brother and his two best friends, were supposed to be interceding for him, and when he goes back to them, they're asleep. Has the devil ever put you to sleep when you were supposed to be praying? Have you ever prayed yourself to sleep? Have you ever been like, yeah, can you just help our friend Jesus here? Because he's going through something that we don't really get. Can you just help him, God? And then you just fall asleep? I've done it. Done it many times. I'm guaranteeing you have done it too. While they're still in this discussion, Peter comes back and says, why'd you fall asleep? They're in this discussion and they're like, oh, Lord, we're so sorry. Guess who comes up on the mountain? Judas, and a crowd of people coming to arrest Jesus right at that time. Come. Now, do you think maybe Peter, James, and John were thinking maybe we should have stayed awake at that point? So Judas approaches Jesus and kisses him. That was the sign. I'm going to kiss him on the cheek. And then you'll know who Jesus is and who to arrest. So Jesus asked him, Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss? Just outright says it to him. Earlier that night at the Last Supper, he didn't call Judas out, but he called out that somebody in that room would betray him. And he still had dinner with them. He still washed their feet. And he called them out. And they started fighting about it. Will it be me? Who will it be? Well, it's going to be you. Is it going to be you? Who's going to betray? Surely I wouldn't betray you. But Judas knew he was going to betray him when all of that happened. He still did it. Jesus asked the elders and the temple guards, the chief priests, am I leading a rebellion that you have come with sword and clubs? Every day I was with you in the temple courts, and you did not lay a hand on me. But this is your hour when darkness reigns. It starts now, guys. Tonight. Darkness will reign. Friday, Jesus will die. And Sunday, they will go back to that tomb where the rock was rolled away and nobody was in the tomb. It's an exciting week. Easter is exciting, but I want you to understand what happened Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we can get to Sunday. It's not all about Sunday. It's about what happened beforehand. What happened to make Sunday happen. I hope you're learning something. I hope you're enjoying this. I see that not many people are watching or at least liking this. And that's okay. Because these are tough subjects. But they're things that we need to know, that we need to understand. If you really want to follow Jesus, you have to understand this stuff. And I'm just obeying God by telling you. Have a blessed day.